Hello, hello, hello. This is Dr. Hines coming with another one of my 30-minute drive through sessions. Um, Tonight I'm still talking about those beautiful high school kids. Um, but tonight I'm really passionate about this particular topic. And this can go for elementary, middle, high school. This can go for college. This can go for any capacity where someone is trying to learn or someone is trying to gain information from something. A, a student will never learn until they are ready to be taught. This is something that I hold passionate within my belief system, within my career, everything I've done. Let me first start off by saying a lot of times you'll ask people that are in education or associated with education, and they have this altruistic idea that every child can learn. Every child can learn. Every child has the capacity to learn. And I believe that. I believe that. But I believe no child will learn until they are ready to be taught. You can be the best educator, you can be the best teacher anyone has ever seen. But if that student is not at a point that they're ready to be taught and they want to learn, you're just speaking to the atmosphere. A lot of times, especially in the public school setting, we are tasked with the responsibility of making sure students progress, making sure students meet all the requirements to move forward, whether it's elementary, middle, or high. And one of the statements I always say, and you'll hear me say this often, is that high school is the end of free education if you're in public school. If you're in public school, you're in public school. When you get to college, you got to pay. Either you pay up front or you pay later, but you're going to have to pay. These professors are not doing what they're doing for free. So I feel that when a student is ready to learn, then you can teach them all day and they will be receptive to it. But if they're not ready to learn, you're going to have problems. It works the same way when you go to the doctor's office. If I go to the doctor and I'm not feeling well, and the doctor asks me, how are you feeling? What's going on? Where are you hurting? And I just say, I just hurt all over. That's not helping the doctor pinpoint the precise position of your problem. It's, I hurt all over. The body is vast. If you go to a therapist or you go to a psychiatrist and you're not participatory in the process of therapy, it's a waste of time. And I know a lot of people may have opinions on this and may not necessarily agree, disagree, but unless you have a patient, a client, a person, a student, a child, a partner, if you're in a relationship, because this can go beyond just the educational realm. If you're connected with someone and that person is not in yoke with you, they're not interested in what you want and how you feel and how you think, you're going to have problems. And one of the things my dad would say all the time is that you're just talking to airspace. You're just talking to the air. You're talking to the atmosphere. Because unless you're ready to listen and ascertain, it's not going to happen. I've dealt with students, especially high school students, for a long time. And one of the things I've learned, I will provide you with the information from the depths of my heart. I will try to give you everything you need to be successful. Everything you need to be successful. I will give you the classes you need to graduate. I will give you the tests you need to pass. If you need to do entry certification, if you have to do community service, whatever you need to be able to graduate, I'm going to give that to you. I'm going to map out what you need to do when you need to do it. I'm going to tell you need to pass this. Don't worry about that. I'm going to tell you exactly what you need to do. But if you don't do it, it's on you. And I've learned over the years in this profession not to take it personal, not to take it as a failure on myself if I give you the roadmap that you need to go and you don't follow it. I don't take it personal because I've done my job. I have given you what you needed to be successful. Parents do it every day. And that's why I salute parents. I salute anyone who's a caregiver. I salute anyone who is responsible for raising a child, because every single day they get up, they look at the weather report, they look outside and they say, oh, it's cloudy. Hey, wear that raincoat, wear your rain boots, take your umbrella, wear a hat, wear a jacket, wear gloves, wear scarves, because you're trying to teach that child, the one that you're caring for, whether you're biological parent or not, doesn't matter. I'm trying to protect you from something that you can't see. Because whether you can't see, you feel. If it's cold, you feel it. If it's hot, you feel it. If it's rainy, you can see rain, but you feel it. Because rain can come out of nowhere. There's certain areas of town, as a parent, as a caregiver, I'm telling you, don't go to those areas. Don't hang around those people. Don't be at this particular place at this particular time, because bad things happen. But if you don't digest that, you don't take that in, you're going to end up doing exactly what somebody tells you not to do. And then when the bad things happen, you're going to wonder why they happen. Who's going to bail me out? Who's going to help me out? Well, you shouldn't have been doing what I told you not to do. Advice is only as good as the person who uses it. There's a lot of great advice out there. And with, YouTube, TikTok, all these different, interfaces, there's plenty of good information that's out there. How do you digest that? And how do you take in what's good advice and what's just people just talking? You could take what I'm saying as just me talking. I'm just giving you words and verbs, but that doesn't mean that what I'm saying to you is resonating within you. And like I said, this goes for children, high school students, adults. Information is only as good as I ever give it to you. My mom, she was raised in Virginia, but she moved to Florida. And one thing she had to get used to when you move to a state that is 3/4 surrounded by water is you have to heed what people tell you. They're going to tell you hurricane, and they give it a name, whatever name you want to give it. It's coming. It's going to hit, and then it's going to hit, and then it's going to make landfall at a particular time on a particular day. Now, you have the right, the decision-making power to say, I'm going to stay, I'm going to make sure I, board up, hunker down, I'm going to leave. You have the decision to do whatever you choose to do. But when that hurricane hits, whatever decision you make, you got to live with. Years ago, not too many years ago, but years ago, there was a span, and I'm not, I may be wrong. Forgive me for those people who are listening from Florida and I don't get this right. But you had a span of hurricanes that were coming every single weekend, just coming. You know, hurricane would come in Thursday, hit Friday, clean up Saturday, Sunday. Come next Thursday, another hurricane came, another name came, back to back to back. And I remember, talking to my mom over the phone, like, "Are you okay?" And after Hurricane 2, she kind of understood. Okay, I need to take care of myself. I need to make sure I do this, do that, blah blah blah. And then when the hurricane that season had passed, she invested in things that would make her more safe. Hurricane-proof windows, whatever. The point of my story is life is the greatest teacher of all. Because when life teaches you, you never forget. You never forget. So when I work with students, I know that I can talk a hole in your head. I can say whatever I need to say. I can have a conversation with you. I can do whatever. But until you're ready to digest and hear what I'm saying, it's just words. It's just verbs. It's just noise. I can tell you, if you miss so many days in school, you're probably not going to graduate because you have to be in class physically so many times in order for you to get a passing grade. You're either going to believe me or you're not. You're either going to understand that whether you like it or not, whether you like math, whether you like English, whether you like science, whether you like history, you have to pass so many classes in that particular subject in order to earn a diploma. You can't just wing it and think they're going to just... Nobody's giving out diplomas. Nobody's giving out degrees just because you're a great person. It doesn't happen. You have to earn it. You have to do something to get it. And I know I'm very passionate about this because, being in this field as long as I have, there's been a shift. And I will say when COVID hit, it transformed everything as far as our ability to talk to children and be accessible to children and to be accessible to our students and to be able to communicate in a way that they understand. Some students are still living in la la land and they think, I can just do online and figure it out that way. And in some cases you can, in a lot of cases you can't. Things have changed. You got to come to school. You can't stay at home and still expect to pass. And I've also learned that if you force a student, you got to do this, you got to do that. I know there's rules, there's litigations. Every state has their rules as far as mandatory attendance. I get that. But if you try to force them, some of them are going to comply and some of them are going to push back. And in my experience, more have pushed back than have complied because they don't. These children, this generation, a lot has been said about this generation, good and bad. But I believe that this generation is a wonderful generation, but they're rebellious. And if they don't believe in it, they're not going to do it. And they don't believe in conventional wisdom. They believe in their own way. And each individual is different, But a lot of students today, and this is not a negative knock on the student, because I think there's a lot of bright, intelligent students today that are really trying to do the work and really trying to make a difference in the world. But there are some students that simply, and we're not just talking about students that are in high school or middle school. I'm talking about students that are adults that don't understand the value of hard work. They want to put a topic in Chat GPT and get an answer. They want to write a thesis or a dissertation and just put in maybe a paragraph and get 15 pages worth of work and let the computer do it for them. AI is a great thing. I'm glad it's here. I wish it was here when I did my dissertation because it'd have made life a lot easier. But sometimes you got to come up with original thought. You got to do it yourself. I'm sorry. There's no substitute for critical thinking and individual thinking. There's no substitute. And going back to my topic, if I'm talking to a student and I'm telling that student that it's important for you to come to school, it's important for you to get your work done, it's important for you to graduate. If you don't have a buy-in, if you don't have a reason, a raison d'etre for you to be able to graduate, it's just something to do. What does graduation mean to a student who doesn't care? And some of our students today, some of them want graduation because they have goals and plans and things. And then some of them are just like, what does it mean to me? I came from a family where nobody graduated from high school. So if I don't, who cares? They're living life. I can live life. Why stress myself over something that never really meant anything to me to begin with? I only did it because I was told to do it. I didn't do it because I wanted to do it. And I tell students this all the time. You're in control of your actions, but you're not in control of the consequences of your actions. I did not come up with this. This was told to me from an elder, got passed down. I've heard it in many different ways. You can control what you want to do. Do you want to come to school? Do you not want to come to school? Do you want to graduate or do you not, or you want to drop out? Whatever. You make those decisions. But when you don't live the quality of life that you want because of that decision, you can't blame anybody else but you because you made the decision. And these are conversations that should happen with a child and a caregiver, a child with a parent, because these are conversations that make a child think about what they want to do with their lives. And a lot of times students don't know. They just want to wing it. They just want to get by. They just listen. I got this figured out. Life was different 20 years ago. You don't understand what it means to be me during this day, during this time. And I get all of that. I'm not arguing. There are things that these students are going through now that we never had to face. We never had to deal with cyberbullying. If somebody bullied me, you had to bully me within the building. When I went home, I was safe unless you came to my door, which, that's different. But it's different now. Social media, the internet. We didn't have that when I was in school. We have it now, and it's very prevalent. And it can be a wonderful tool, but it can also be a dangerous thing if not used properly. I'm an avid fan of Star Wars. Always was. My dad loved it. And one of my favorite characters is Yoda. And one of the things that Yoda said is, there is no try, only do. I love it. Because sometimes students, people, whoever is listening to this, you have to just do. Sometimes plan A is the only plan. There's no plan B. There's no plan C. It's all of this or nothing. And the only way plan A is going to work is if I work it. I have to be the one to put forth the effort to get it done. Because I'm in control of whether I succeed or whether I fail. I have to be in control of that. And I have to take ownership if things don't go the way I'm supposed to do. Because if I didn't do what I was supposed to do and I failed, then I'm responsible. But if I did everything I was supposed to do and I still didn't make it, then I could possibly blame something else. But I believe, in most cases, if you put forth 100% effort, you can succeed. A lot of times when I talk with kids, students, and they tell me they have a teacher that it's just not working. They don't like the teacher. They don't like the way the teacher is teaching. They're not grasping what the teacher is teaching. I always say this. It's harder for a teacher to fail you when you come to class every day, on time, turn in every classroom assignment, attempt to participate, and turn in every homework assignment. I don't care if everything is wrong. Show up and put forth effort. Because if I'm a teacher and I have a student in my class who's failing every single test and every single quiz and every single pop quiz I give and every homework assignment, but this child is coming to my class every single day, on time, doing the work that's asked, and they're failing, that's not on them, it's on me as a teacher. Because for that period of time that I have that student, how can I fail you? Well, he's not doing well in quizzes. Well, he's coming every day. What are you doing to intervene? Have you offered tutoring? Have you offered... What are you doing? What are you doing to help the student? It's hard. Well, the student comes every day. I trust me. I've been in parent meetings. I've been in IEP meetings. I've been in 504 meetings. I've been in manifestations. I've been in everything. And I've heard parents and say, and they're asking, like, well, how does my, oh, your child comes to class every day. He's on time. Turns in every homework. It's just wrong. It's just not right. It's just, okay, but have you contacted me? Have you had a conversation with me as a parent? Have you had a conversation with the school counselor? Well, what have you done other than just fail my child? Well, I mean, he or she is just not getting it. That's not it. No, parents, we don't want to leave any child behind. We don't. We want every child to succeed. Every child's supposed to succeed. But the success that they have is dependent upon the effort that they give. And effort is something, I can't teach you effort. You either have it or you don't. And this is a lesson especially for students who are transitioning from a middle school environment to a high school environment. Effort. You have to give effort. You have to try. Because I promise you, as you navigate through the beginning of high school to the time you graduate, you're going to encounter at least one, if not two teachers that you don't like, that you don't get along with, that you don't understand, but you need their class in order to graduate. So what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Are you going to give up? Or are you going to push forward? This is my topic for today. This is one that is very near and dear to my heart because effort is not something that we can gift a student. You can't put it in a gift card and say, hey, here's $100 worth of effort. You can't do that. They have to want to succeed. They have to want to come to school. They have to understand the importance that their actions are going to lead to an outcome. And if these beautiful, wonderful future leaders of our world don't get that concept, then we all are responsible. And we're going to be in for a rude awakening. That's it. This is Dr. Hines. If you like what you heard, hit the like button, subscribe. This topic is near and dear to me. I'll probably do something like this again in another post, but I just had to get this out. Be safe. Until next time.